live, go live, go live. Going live, going live. Going live. Hello? Hey, hey, mic test. Hello? Naririnig po ba? Hello, everybody. Am I okay? Am I okay from there? Okay lang po ba yung audio? Clear naman po. And malakas. Just checking in. And we are going to start in the next 10 minutes. Official start. And let's do some Q&A po before we get into the start, so that we will answer some questions para sa inyo. Yun po mga common questions. We collected some common questions and I will post it here. And we got some trouble coming in. Nako po, sana hindi umulan. Kasi, what happened? Is everything fine? Okay, so I think everything is good. So lahat po ng mga nasa membership site natin, yung nag-register po, if you notice, meron pong video or link sa baba po ng video. You could click that link to go to directly to the video, to the YouTube live, para po makapag-participate to our live chat. Ano ba? What is happening? It seems like naghahang yung ano po. Tagal mag-respond sa maka lowbat mouse ko. Alright, so let's go ahead and before we officially start, while waiting po tayo sa ating mga attendees, let's start first with our Q&A po. And I will answer some questions. I'm gonna present that to your screen. Oh, yeah. Ako rin. So let's go ahead and get into some Q&A. Okay, so let's start this with Q&A while we are waiting po sa ating mga attendees to this webinar. Okay, so Q&A po to help you get some answers. So I have a question from, let me check. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. There you go. So this is one of the questions that we got from one of our members, sa mga kabibak, Christine Fresco. So she asked, do I need to be fluent in speaking English? Yan po yung kadalasang tanong ng mga gusto pong magsimula to work online, right? So if you have this same question, then thank Christine. So we're going to answer this today. So ang sagot po dyan is that it's not necessary that you actually be fluent in English at the start, but it would be advantage po if you are fluent in English, because most of the job requires, of course, most of our clients are Americans or English speaking people. And kung hindi naman po tayo, hindi pa po tayo masyadong fluent in English, I actually started not fluent in speaking in English. I just good at writing and researching, and even not that good, pero I developed it over time. So still I was able to get a job when I started na hindi naman po ako magaling mag-English. Okay, so wag po nating gawing rason yung hindi tayo magaling mag-English to not pursue this online work from home career. Dahil speaking English fluently, if you say, could be learned along the process po. The problem would be if you are not going to do something about it. Kung palagi na lang po nating i-excuse yan. So it could be learned. This skill about speaking English fluently is a skill, and you will get more advantage if you have that. When you're able to speak English. One is because you could easily communicate po sa mga mga employers or a client, potential client that you could be of service, right? Then one tip about speaking, don't just focus on regarding desiring to achieve being fluent in English. Also, develop, incorporate it with typing skill. Yung mabilis po kayo mag-type. Meron po mga mga typing sites to develop your typing skills, to speed up your typing skill, na hindi nyo po gagamitin yung dalawang hintuturo nyo lang. You use your 10 fingers. 10? 10. Okay? So yung 10 mga daliri nyo, gamitin po natin in typing. It's more faster. And it would be advantage when you are fast in typing kasi po you would be able to easily respond to those applications na ina-applyan mo. So I hope that gives you some clarity. Not necessarily you need to be fluent in English to start, but it would be advantage. So develop it. Okay? Then, second question from Tracy. What skills to learn and acquire to be qualified? So ano daw yung skills na kailangan i-acquire to be qualified? So are still there? So hopefully everyone is there. Okay, doing fine. So kumukulog din dito. And everything should be fine. Okay? So what skills to learn and acquire to be qualified as a freelancer? So question po dito ni Tracy, what skills to learn and acquire to be qualified as a freelancer? Gusto niyo ba ng sagot? Okay, so I think one of the skills, to be specific, we're not going to go to the specific for now. The greatest skill, I may say, yun pong learning plus doing. Yun pong pinaka-greatest skill na kailangan po natin if we want to pursue working from home. Kasi you will be able to acquire more knowledge and skill set when you have this skills of learning and doing. You will achieve more skill sets if you are consistently learning and doing what you have learned. So not just by being a good hearer. To be specific, the required skill set, ito po yun. Ito po yung ating gagawin ngayon. Actually, I've been preparing a series of skill set training in a weekly basis. We already have scheduled for that. Even we have a next week schedule to build and help you develop a skill set of working online. So isa po ito yung to build website for clients. Isa po yung mga skill set na kailangan nyo. Alright? Like data entry, bookkeeping, graphic editing, video editing. Marami po kayong pwedeng gagawin or to use as a service. Okay? So I would suggest go and start, if you are just getting started, go to start your work from home career na ating free training then. You could go in Pinoy Online Academy to check that out. Yun pong training na yun. You could start from there para mas maintindihan niyo po yung work from home nature. Okay, so yeah, so yun po yung mga skills. I can't summarize everything. Diniscuss po natin yung mga platforms and tools na pwede nyo i-familiarize to hone your skills around para po gamitin nyo to serve or to start your work from home. Okay, so another question from, we're almost going to start in 2 minutes. Saan at paano ba ako makahahanap ng stable na income through online jobs? From July. Hi July. Mayo na po tayo. So, in terms of the word stable income, you could achieve a stable income if you have a stable mindset. So, I think wag po nating always trying to search for stable things. I think we have to begin if we have a stable mindset, we have a stable skill sets, and we have a stable experience, right? And you have to begin somewhere. You have to start. So if you don't start to address those having a stable mindset, skill set, and experience, then you will not have a stable job. Tama ba? So I would suggest that stop looking for stable income, but instead, make it chase you. Yun pong mga stable income, make it chase you. And you could do that by having a stable mindset. You could have a stable skill set, stable experience. So keep learning what you need to know, keep learning what you need to understand and develop regarding work from home, since this is our topic. Okay, so I guess we've answered 3 questions and we're about to begin in 1 minute. So handa na po ba kayong lahat for our free training, Build Website for Clients? And we're going to learn and develop your skill set. This is just one of the main skill set that you could use or you could do to serve clients online or to work from home online. Okay? And by the way, my name is Clint. Sa mga hindi pa po nakakilala, my name is Clint. So makikita niyo po yung mga posts ko dun sa ating PVAC group. So ako po yun. Okay? So hindi na po ako mag-i-introduce na aking sarili because I already did that on our Start Your Work From Home Career training that we did last week. Last week ba yun? May 14th. Okay? Okay, so we have to go ahead and get started as fast as we could. So we're now at the top of the hour, 4:30 p.m. na po, as promised that we need to start on time. And we started early and we had a Q&A earlier, so you could just play back that later on to get some answers to some common questions that would also help you get more confidence. Kasi when our questions are being answered, it develops our confidence, right? So hopefully that would boost your confidence about working online. Okay, so build website for clients. Learn and develop your skill set of building website for clients and make money. But before we start, could I ask some request to you? Can I ask, ano ba yan? Nabubulol ako kasi I'm Bisaya. Nahihirapan akong mag-Tagalog. Okay, remove all distractions. I know you are on YouTube. Make sure that you are focused on our training today. Okay, so remove all distractions and yung mga cell phones natin, or if you're on your cell phone, of course, you don't remove your cell phone. Okay, so remove all other distractions like Facebooking and multitasking. We need to focus and prepare some notes. You might have to take notes some of the things that we need to discuss today. And I think we're good in an audio level natin, di ba? So malakas naman, klaro, malinaw. Okay. And then also, may I request that you would share this video or YouTube video to those people that you think that would benefit this training, that want to learn how to work from home online. So you could just share this link of this YouTube live video to them, to your Facebook. And of course, once you're done sharing, umalis na po kayo sa Facebook. They might distract you to scroll some entertainments. Okay, so if you have any questions, just post it on along the way while I'm presenting. Hindi po tayo mag-stop to answer questions. Okay, so all your questions will be collected. Just ask your question po dyan sa chat box dyan sa ating YouTube live, and then one of our teammates, mga beautiful kapatids ko dyan, will get your questions. And then we will answer that somewhere at the end of our training, because my Q&A pa rin po tayo at the end. Okay, and lastly, my request is, can you please subscribe to this YouTube channel? Doon po sa button below this video, meron po tayong subscribe button dyan. Yun pong mga nasa members area, you could click below the video and join us live here, so that you could join us live in this YouTube. Makapag-chat maka-chat po kayo. Okay, so I think that's all. Thank you and bye-bye. Okay, so what we are going to tackle on this training. Okay, so I think we're good to get straight and get started. So what we're going to tackle in this training is that what you need to build a website. Okay. So again, I'm not going to introduce myself anymore because I already did that from the previous from the previous training. It will just consume a lot of time. Okay. So what you need to build websites, then best practices of creating a website, and then types of website you can build, and who needs a website. These are your potential clients to become that you could be serving if you want to acquire how to build a website skill. And then let's build a website. So dito po is we are going to actually build a website. I'm going to show you and uh, get you to the process of building a website. And who thinks here that building a website is actually so hard? And you will be amazed that it's actually so simple. And I'm going to show you that in that agenda when we get to that. Let's build a website. And then extra resources. We're going to talk about extra resources so that it will help you more develop your skills of building website. Okay, so now let's proceed with number 1. What you need to build websites. So what you need? Anong kailangan mo? Una sa lahat is that you need a domain name. Okay, so kailangan nyo po yung domain name. Ano po ba yung domain name? Domain name. Pasensya po if I'm not pronouncing it right. See, you don't necessarily have to be great in English, or actually, I could make mistakes a lot of times. Ang importante po kasi sa mga clients natin, if you are going to serve clients in terms of English, that they understand you. Even if you don't deliver it clearly, they could understand you. Tayo lang talaga mga Pilipino yung mga OA. Okay? So, domain name. And domain name, by the way, I will explain domain name is, yun po yung mga address. If you visit facebook.com, yan po si domain name. Okay? Yan po si domain name. Ano pa? Google.com. Google. Google? Ano ba pag-pronounce na? I don't care. Google.com. And then, yan po, mga domain name po yan. Yan po ang tinatawag na domain name. Okay? So, kailangan niyo po yan to build a website. Though you could build a website from local, but we're not going to talk about that in this training. So, next is we need web hosting. Ano po yung web hosting? Ito po yung mga online computers, like it's like it's also called servers. Dito po hino-host yung mga website like facebook.com. In order for facebook.com to be live on the internet, those files, those codes needs to be fired up into your browser. Kailangan po yan i-host. Kailangan pong may computer na gagalingan ng mga files to load it up on the internet. Okay, yun po yung mga web hosting. And then, you need to use website building platforms. Okay, meron po tayong tinatawag ng mga website builders. So, in particular, that will help you build website more easily rather than coding or starting from scratch. Unless you are a great developer, you have all the developer skills, then you could start from scratch. But in this training, I'm going to help you build website much easier by using the right website building platform. Okay? So, next is what you need is your tinkering skills. Okay? Yung tinkering skills niyo. Dito po, ito po yung pagka-curious niyo, or yung dito na po niyo i-incorporate yung creativity niyo. So when you're building website, you're just going to build website, but you incorporate your creativity, your great about what you could offer to make that website functional, to make the website stunning, and make your client happy. Okay? And lastly is common sense. Okay? To understand things out. So that is what you need. Those are what you need to build a website. Okay, so let's go ahead and proceed to where to get a domain name. So, yun po yung una natin, di ba? So, you need a domain name. A domain name, yung facebook.com, yung google.com. Saan po yan kukunin? Kukunin nyo po yan, or you could buy. That is, you need to buy that. And don't worry, you don't need to do so right now. But you need to buy that. 2 domain registrars like Namecheap.com, name.com, fastdomain.com, and other hosting companies. Kasi meron pong mga hosting companies that are actually offering a as a domain registrars. Yun po yung doon niyo po nire-register or binibili yung domains. Kasi po ito po yung concept. It's like a business name in if you compare it in local ano ba yun, business ventures. I-register niyo po yung name niyo, 'di ba, sa DTI. It's like that po. You are going to register if you have, so for example, my name is great.com. Once you selected that, you just go to this domain registrar to buy that domain so that it will register that you own that domain. Okay? So, yun po yung domain name registrars. Doon niyo po bibilhin ang domain name. Okay? So, just take note of those. You need a domain name to build a website, to host, or to, let's say, yung website mo to be viewable to the web. Okay? Next is also, you need a web hosting. So most, if not all, domain registrar are actually offering web hosting services and vice versa. So ang ibig po sabihin yan, yung mga domain name registrars po, nag-o-offer po diyan ng mga web hosting. So ito po yung mga web hosting services. Commonly, SiteGround, Bluehost, HostGator, GoDaddy, Ionos, Hostinger, GreenKicks. So marami pong mga web hosting around the web, thousands of them po. So kailangan niyo po yan in order for you to host your files. So kaya before it's going to be published on the web, it needs to be hosted somewhere. So yung mga hosting services po, yun po yung nag-hold ng mga files mo that you uploaded. That's why it's going to be viewable in the internet, because it was hosted somewhere in a online computer, a 24/7 online computer. Okay? So yan po yung binibigay na service ng mga web hosting. So ito po yung mga common and popular web hosting. And actually, I'm using SiteGround on our website. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next one. Types of web hosting. Take note of this, that you might need to familiarize this, that the web hosting, these are types of web hosting: shared web hosting, dedicated web hosting, cloud hosting, VPS hosting, managed hosting. So meron pong mga difference dito. Like shared hosting is it's a hosting service na binibigay ng hosting companies that one computer, marami pong mga clients na nag-share ng one computer or server. Okay, yung dedicated is just one computer for one client. Yun po yung mga services na binibigay ng mga web hosting companies. And cloud is more of like more servers is distributed po yung mga files. I can't explain it more clearly, but the solution for that, if any questions in our minds when things are presented to us, is to do our research, right? Okay, so hindi ko na po i-discuss every details of this because they're easily to be searched. If you go to web hosting sites like this, the SiteGround, Bluehost, if you just visit their sites, then you will be able to see their description about what are the differences of this. And they have different price points. Okay, so shared is the most inexpensive one, like $1 a month. Yun lang po yung babayaran nyo. Okay, so mostly we are going to use that. And I'm going to show you that later on when we start building a website. Okay, so everything will make sense. So now we're just laying down the foundation. Like it? Okay, so now we are going to talk about, kung mayroon po kayong mga questions regarding this, don't hesitate to put your questions in the comment box po para atin pong sasagutin yan later on. Okay? So, best practices po building website. Okay? Excited na po ba kayo mag-build a website? So, don't get bored on this. We need to lay some foundations and learn some things as ground point para po we are going to be able to build website great. Okay, next is best practices of building website. Number one is ito po, begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. So, ang ibig po sabihin niyan, when you are trying to create a website for clients or for the employee that you're going to serve, you already have the endpoint, the result that you wanted to achieve. So, if we uh, make it more specific, make it SEO ready. We're not going to tackle about this. By the way, SEO is search engine optimized website. So yan po yung SEO, and we're going to talk about this in our later training po. Okay, so mga couple of weeks pa po. So search engine optimization. So that means it's going to be easily search on search engine. It's going to be easily crawled by search engine. So search engines po like Google. Okay, so marami pong search engine, Yahoo, and so on and so forth. All right, and then make sure that it's mobile, responsive, and friendly. So ano pong ibig sabihin nun? When the website is mobile responsive, that means whatever devices that you are in, it will adapt. So that means hindi po nasisira yung mga font size, yung mga formation ng mga images like that when they are viewing your website in a mobile. Okay, so it should be friendly. It's still usable in mobile. It's responsive. It will adapt to whatever devices that you have. Next is branding consistency. This is also important when you are building website, that you are consistent about branding. So, for example, if you are meron pong branding yung client nyo that you're serving, you have to make sure that you are going to align to that brand. Don't just create a website with your own wanting yung pong gusto nyong color na gagamitin nyo. Okay, I like this color. I want to use this to his website. I want to use this I want this font. I want this okay, don't do that. You need to be consistent on the brand of the company or the client that you're serving. Okay? Yun po yung kailangan when you are building website. Yung typography, yun pong mga fonts na ginagamit, sizes ng mga fonts, bold, ano pa. So that is typography. Color schemes, yun pong mga colors na ginagamit ng yung mga clients. So you have to be mindful of that. You have to make sure that you follow the branding of your client. And if they don't have a brand yet, if they don't establish a branding yet for their business or for their online business, then it's your opportunity to actually provide an extra service to help them develop their brand. Okay? Just give you a hint. Hopefully that gives you a boost. Okay, simplicity is best. Okay, make things simple. When it's actually opposite of complex website. When you visit a website that is too complex, like ang daming color, rainbow, unless it's the theme. So make it elegant and simple. Okay, so don't try to complicate things when simplicity is the option. Okay, so less is more. Less is more is more about taking action. It's about conversion. Like people will take action when they visit the website because they only need to do less. Okay, because if you imagine yung customer that going to a website, they're already overwhelmed, right? They might probably have a lot of problem to think of, and they're trying to find a solution. And then when they visit your website and they have a lot of links to link, when they see your website, okay, here there's a link, and a lot of ads and so on and so forth, then it's not achieving what what the website is supposed to be, to provide a solution to the problem. So less is more is that you have to make sure you take into account that they could easily take action to what you want them to take. Okay, so for example, if you want them to register for something, yun po yung register button, makikita po kagad. Yun po yung less is more. Okay, you direct to the point. Oo, nakakalito, naka-overwhelm po yung napakaraming idadagdag pa na link. You are already stressed. If you put it yourself, you're already stressed when you visit a website because you're finding a solution, right? Then when you get into the website, nakakalito pa. Saan ba talaga ako pupunta? Okay, make it less to actually get them into taking action. All right? So yun po yung less is more, for them to easily take action to what you actually offer. So yun po yung less is more. And speed counts. Ano ba yung speed counts? When you visit a website, tapos ang tagal mag-load, ano po yung mangyayari? 'Di ba? I hate it. gusto mo nang basta. I hate slow website. So speed counts. You have to make sure that you are attentive about that need, that speed counts when you are building a website. That's why you have to choose the right web hosting when you are building a website for a client. You need to find the right web hosting. So I'm using SiteGround, as I've shared earlier in this earlier slide. SiteGround po yung ginagamit, and I've never been satisfied with SiteGround than any other hosting companies. So they will aalis po yung visitor because they are impatient. They want to find the solution that they needed. So kailangan po mabilis po yung website natin. So again, we have to consider how we build our website. It needs to be speedy. Okay? Hindi po slowy. So, that's all about the best practices of building website. Ito po. Always put yourself on the user's end. Building a website is about user interface or UI and user experience or UE. Okay? User interface or UI or user experience or UE. So, yun po yung what matters most when you are creating a website. Kailangan nyo pong always you are on the end user's mind. So, that's why begin with the end in mind. Doon po tayo sa end naka-focus when we're building a website. And just a reminder, nabubulol ako, a reminder, you build a website not for the sake of just creating it, right? For your client. You do it because you want them to get result. Okay, ito po yung pinaka-importante when you are building website for a client. Wag lang po kayong nagbi-build just to, sometimes you think, oh, this is so awesome. I created a wonderful website. Ang ganda ng design. But actually, it's not getting result for your client. What's the point of the good design if it's not getting the functionality that it needs for your clients, right? So you need to know if the website you're building is getting a result for your client that they want to see. So you have to know what is the endpoint of your website. Okay, so that's it. Now, let's go ahead and get marami pa mong mga best practices, okay? I just listed out the few that is most commonly needed when you are building a website. So we are now to discuss types of website you can build. Okay, marami pa kayo natutunan, hopefully. So we're already 30 minutes. Wow, ang bilis ng time, ha? We're already at 30 minutes and we're still on point 3. That means 10 minutes per agenda. Okay, types of website you can build. Let's talk about this. So type of website that you can build is business website. Ito po yung mga ginagamit ng mga businesses, online businesses, like they're offering services or like hotels, mga local businesses like bricks and mortar businesses that they wanted to cater their services online. Then you could that's one of the types that you could build a website for. A portfolio website. A portfolio website is more about for professional catering or their services online. Okay, professionals like architects, doctors, like that. You could use that portfolio. Even us working online as a freelancer or a virtual assistant, you could create your own portfolio website to show your portfolio, what you have done, what you are, like an online resume. Okay. And then, you could also build an e-commerce site. So, an e-commerce site, ito po yung an e-commerce site is like Lazada, Shopee, yan po yung e-commerce site. Selling physical products online. Okay? So yun po mga may shipping. That is e-commerce. Like Amazon, that is e-commerce site. Membership site, like when they have to pay for them to access the content, that is membership site. And then social media site like Facebook. What? You could create social media website? Of course, Facebook is a website. That is a social media site. Forum site and media website and entertainment website. Media website is specifically yun pong like mga local news. Yun po mga media. Okay? Entertainment is like Netflix. Tama ba? Netflix. Ang hirap. Okay, so Netflix na nabaliktad na. Okay? So that's types of website you can build. And there are so much more. And you are just a research away of what types of website that you could actually build. And yan, mas mabilis yan. Who needs a website? Now we are going to talk about who needs a website, because you need to have some clients, right? You need to know who are you serving. So who needs a website? You need to know that business owners needs a website. Like online business owners or brick and mortar business. So if you know someone like a brick and mortar means offline business, always on old methods, you could approach them and ask them and say to them that you could build a website because you have learned from here. Okay? And then you could build website for professionals like doctors, dentists, architects, engineers, and all, like, nangailangan mga website to cater their services online. You could actually build website for them. Why? If they could actually build it for them, why? Do you think doctors would have the time to actually build a website? Right? Do you think dentists would have the time to actually build a website instead of humihila ng tooth? Okay, so yun po. Well, you have a lot of customer base to build a website for. Mga online course creators and physical product sellers, like yun po yung mga e-commerce. Okay? So yun po, and media sites or media, local media. So for example, you have a local radio station sa yung area or local media news that don't have a website, you could actually approach them and help them to build a website. Oh, okay. So blog is one type of a website. One type of a website, yes. And it could be incorporated with a business website and different websites. Okay? Oh, number 5, na tayo. Let's build a website. Are you excited to get into it? Oh, nandito na po tayo sa ating action. And actually, I haven't actually made some tests on this. I just made some I haven't gone through to the testing. So you might see me make mistakes along the process when I try to do it. Okay? So at least you will learn from my mistakes if I get into it. Okay? Ho! So let's go and get into building website. Excited ba kayo? So eto na po tayo. But before we do that, meron pa pala. So let's talk about this first. Number 1 is that you can build a website from scratch. Okay? If you are a great developer, you could build a website from scratch. But instead of wasting your time as a developer, you're good at coding, you're good at programming. Why waste your time on building things from scratch when you know that there's already some boilerplates or platforms that could help you get started ahead, right? So unless you actually want that, depende na po yan sa inyo if you're a developer. And most likely, we are not a developer. I'm not a developer. I'm just a techie person. I like tinkering things. Okay? But I'm not that tech person. Okay? My brother is. He's a good developer. And so I rely on platforms. Okay? So in this building website I'm going to show you now, we are going to use a platform and we are going to use WordPress. Okay? So WordPress platform. And regarding WordPress, let me clarify first about WordPress that there is difference between this. WordPress.com is not WordPress.org. Okay? So because this confused me a lot when I get started, as one of my potential, yung nag-apply po ako ng work, binigyan niya ako ng sample work. Okay, can you build me a website using WordPress? So nag-research ako ano yung WordPress. So nag-create ako ng WordPress site. So WordPress.com pala ako nag-create, and that is not what he needed or what he wanted. So na-fail ako. Okay, so WordPress.com is not WordPress.org. So ang kaibahan nila po is yung WordPress.com is managed while self-hosted yung WordPress.org. That means you need to self-host the files. Okay, so yung pong gagamitin natin is WordPress.org. Yun po yung gagamitin natin in this building website skill. And how it works, let me just give you a quick diagram. Okay, so when you buy, mali yung arrow So when you buy a domain name, so for example, myexampledomain.com, you need it to be hosted somewhere, like right, so that it will be viewable to the public. But there is something in between that needs to be taking care of, which hosting that you actually want it to be hosted. Okay, so for example, si domain.com, kailangan niyang i-configure. So DNS is actually just an extra configuration that you need to do in your domain name registrars, and I'm going to show that to you later to understand it better, to actually point it to which hosting you need to host your domain name. Okay? So for example, may dalawang hosting ka mapagpipilian. Binili mo yung domain name mo sa Namecheap. So after that you bought that, so may pagpipilian ka that do you want to host your site in Namecheap? Then doon po sa DNS i-configure yan. Diyan po sa DNS. So if I say no, I want it to host somewhere else. So I need to configure my DNS to point the DNS server using the whatever hosting that I wanted, their name servers. I need to point that I will say that this domain, myexampledomain.com, will be hosted on this web hosting. Okay, so hopefully that's clear, and we will make that more clearer in this when we are start doing it. Okay, so let's do it. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let me make that more sense today. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm going to change my screen first, and I need to remove my slide. Have patience in me, okay? So I'm not so medyo marami po kasi yung inopen na tag, and it's actually ito yung bakit nagkakaganito. It actually shouldn't be. I can't believe this. It's loading too slow. Okay, so we're going to talk about sorry. So we're going to talk about this two now. So more I'm going to go through to the buying the domain. I'm going to show you how to buy a domain name in Namecheap. Okay, so I already made my search earlier. So kung ano yung domain na bibilhin ko, but I haven't done it yet. So ito yung bibilhin ko because I have a plan ahead of time about this, filipinovirtualstuff.com, because I have a plan to actually make this as an online resume for Filipinos that like you who gone through to this training, that you could cater your skills on the web. Okay, so but probably that's going to be a future project because we're still swamped with clients work. So just letting you know. Okay, so probably in the future those will be usable for all you all. So ito, sinearch ko for Filipino virtual assistant virtual stuff. Okay, so you notice that naming of this, remember when we learned about the best practices, is we need to make sure that it's SEO ready. Okay, so even the name of my domain is SEO ready. So it says Filipino virtual stuff. So it has a words that I like to be used when I'm building a website. And we will talk more about that in the future about SEO. Okay, so now I added it to cart. Okay, so you have to log in, by the way, to your Namecheap account. So I'm on namecheap.com. And then I'm going to check out this. So check this out. Check out. and I'm going to pay this. Ooh, checkout. Are you still there? Boom, 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 boom. We're now on here's the domain registration. So now we're registering our domain, and we will set this to auto renew so that we don't have to think about it in the future. And then there's a web hosting offer. As I mentioned earlier, meron pong web hosting offer ang mga domain registrar. So Namecheap is domain registrar, but they also offer web hosting. And in this example also, SiteGround is a web hosting company or web hosting service, but they also offer a domain as a domain registrar. Okay, as I mentioned, it's a vice versa. But I want to buy a domain name in Namecheap, and also I want to host this domain name in SiteGround. So why should you do that? By the way, why should you do that? Because sometimes it's more appropriate. Because, for example, I love the hosting of SiteGround rather than Namecheap. So I want them. Why should I buy on Namecheap the domain? Because I like Namecheap's interface in terms of buying a domain name. Or let's say they also have a lower fees, lower price in domain name, like that. So like for that reasons, okay. But you could just be in one location to do this, so that you don't have to do the pointing of DNS situation. Okay. So in this case, I did this intentionally so that I could also show you how to point the DNS. So you do that process. That's one part of the process when you're creating a website. So we confirm our order. So order na po tayo. Confirm order. Tagal naman. What happened? Basta po dyan. So again, hopefully we're getting things fixed. Oh my. Bakit? What happened? Oops. Oh, it's asking me to log in again. Sign in and continue. So I have to get into my cell phone to verify my login. It should be submit. And now I'm checked out. Oh, sana yung isang browser yung na-close ata si SiteGround. Okay, so now we are here and we're going to pay this. So do I have any balance? So let me see. I think wala na akong balance. So just let's pay it through PayPal. Sana ma-forward, ano? So be patient. Be patient po. Patience naman. So one of the things that we need when we are trying to do things for clients, or even when we are in the learning process, is we do, oops, oh no, I showed you the password. Please don't log in. Okay, so there you have it. So now I'm going to pay. I think I already reloaded this with balance from my other PayPal earlier. Sana may balance. And there you have it. So let's continue and pay. And there you have it. So now we already bought the domain name. Okay? So maingay po ba sa paligid ko? Could you hear the background noise? Okay, don't forget po to subscribe to our YouTube channel, okay? For more viewership and subscriptionship. Subscriptionship. Okay, there you go. So we now have the receipt that we already made a purchase. There you go. So now the next thing that we need to do is we need to go back to our dashboard so that we could point the DNS to our name servers or to our hosting account. Okay, so there's an option that we could host this. Okay, so by the way, if you are on different domain registrar or web hosting, ang interface lang po ang naiiba. Pero po yung mga concept like where you should go, what you should have to do, para-pareho lang po yan. Like for this example, I need to go to the DNS. Saan ko po yun hahanapin? So you need to just go to manage. Okay? So it's a thought. Sometimes yung iba pong mga sites, it's just a settings like that. So just a different term, but it's the concept is just pretty much the same. Okay? So in this case, we manage the site so that we could change the domain name servers. So remember, in our previous diagram, that we need to set our DNS to point it to the web hosting where we want to host the domain, right? So in this case, see domain name. If we visit domain name. So if we visit the domain now, it's still hosted in Namecheap because it's using the Namecheap's Namecheap defaults DNS. Okay, so wala pa pong laman yan, but we already bought it, so it's already in our account. So what we need to do is just to point it to the hosting account that we wanted to use. So we need to go to the settings, where we need to go to the settings in Namecheap. So you could go here on name servers. So you need to find the name servers that says here. And here it says where is the Namecheap, what name servers that it's using. Now it's still using the Namecheap's basic DNS. So we need to change that to custom DNS. Okay, so this is now the name servers. So this is now the responsible to pointing which hosting is we're actually going to host our domain. Okay, yan po yung domain name servers. Okay, yan po yung mga name servers. Some of hosting services or domain registrars says it servers or DNS so to speak, or in short term DNS. Okay, some of them just name it DNS. As long as it says name servers or like that, domain name servers, yan po, yun po yung hahanapin nyo to change the name servers. Now, so I need these name servers. Where you should get that? So I need to get that from the hosting where I want to host my site. So in this case, I want to host my site actually in SiteGround. So I'm going to go to home in SiteGround. So I wanted to log into my SiteGround account, and then I need to create a website. So why did I go there? So just go to websites tab. So websites tab, and then, and by the way, this is more important thing. I forgot where to go from time to time. But the thing is, when you familiarize things out, it's easy to remember things when you're already familiar with the platform. You just have to be what we call this, to familiarize things. Okay, so you don't have to memorize everything, but you just have to familiarize things to easily get to where you want to go. So in this case, I just wanted to add a new site. I could do it here or here. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. This is the process of adding a site in SiteGround. So if you are using Bluehost, it might be different, but again, it's just pretty much the same concept. Okay, you just have to make sure that you understand the process, and when you go through the other services, you'll be able to do things accordingly because you already understood the process. And I have an existing domain. I'm gonna use that. And remember, what's the domain name that we're using? That is this is it. So Filipino virtualstuff.com. So let's go ahead and use that as existing domain here, and we are going to put that here, and then click continue. And it says domain name you wish to is not registered in SiteGround. You should click continue again. Okay, so you just have to follow the process. Continue, and it says here to point to the DNS settings after your site is created. Yes, we have to do that. Okay, so just click continue. And there we have it. So we have an option to start a new website or migrate a website. Use this option. Depende po yan sa hosting account na ginagamit nyo. You have this option in SiteGround. So for example, you're transferring a website to different web hosting, to different hosting. So SiteGround had the option to migrate the already existing website. They already have files. Okay, so in this case, we want to start a new website. And then we have an option to use or to choose which application that we wanted to install to our website. We could start from scratch. You say here skip and create an empty site. Okay, so in this case, we want to use the automation. Okay, so we want to use the automation. This is what we call the platform or the website platform to build website. You have an option to build a WordPress website, an e-commerce site, or use other platforms like they provide here. So they have different site building or what we call website platform creation tool. Okay, so this is an auto install script that they have available. So different web hosting have their own different hosting accounts. I think we want to create an empty site. You think? Or okay, so let's just begin with auto application, auto installation. So I could show you the process. It's pretty easy and pretty quick. But if we still have enough time, and if you still want to go through, we will do the manual process. Okay, so let's just select this, and then we just have to simply set up a password and username. So my test, and then I'm going to use my default password, and there you have it. So now it asks us to add a site scanner. No, I'm just going to skip that and click finish. And now the next step will be the SiteGround will provide us the DNS servers that we need to put into our domain. Okay, so right now again our site is still on Namecheap, right? So we're still on Namecheap. You see, this is how easy it is to build a website, but you still have to develop your skills on familiarizing things out. So say for example, we're using a WordPress platform in this case when we start building a website. So you need to familiarize that platform, the WordPress platform. Okay, so you need to familiarize how to get in, how to get out, what need to do to install, what need to install to make things out. Okay, so you need to familiarize the platform. So in this case, we just installed a platform, a WordPress platform in our website. Okay, now we have this DNS. You say here, point your domain. So we're telling, we're going to go to namecheap.com and we're going to tell Namecheap, I am dumping you. I'm not going to host my site to your hosting services. I'm going to host my site to SiteGround. So you just have to paste it there. Okay, so you just have to copy this provided domain name servers and then paste it out there on your domain, wherever you bought the domain. Okay, so that's how easy it is. And after that, you just have to check this and click save. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Sana may background music, you know. So there you go. So the domain name servers already been set. You see, that's how easy it is. But notice, DNS servers update may take up to 48 hours to effect. So that means it may take 24 to 48 hours before it's actually going to point into the SiteGround. So, but sometimes it just happened for a few minutes or couple of probably hour. But we still want to try it, right? So we still, I don't know if it will propagate. The term is propagation. If it will successfully propagate in just a couple of minutes. So hopefully it will. Okay, so right now, if we visit the SiteGround, or if we visit our site, or if we visit the website that we just bought, still being hosted on Namecheap. So we have to refresh that couple of times up until it's going to be propagated to our new hosting. So it's still like communicating. It's still communicating that okay, so we're moving your site, you're moving the DNS, we're talking to your, it seems like they're communicating. Okay, so that's how it happens. So now we're still, oops, the website closed. Reopen. So kailangan nating mag-wait. Probably if we are not going to have that, we will probably just use different domains if it's going to propagate but I've showed you the process of pointing the DNS. Okay, so it's simply telling, okay, this domain I want it to host somewhere. So we've decided to host it on SiteGround, and then SiteGround provide us what DNS servers do we need to use for us to host our domain to their hosting service. Okay, so now we could try to manage the site, and let's see what we could get here. So this is the configuration that we have in the back end of SiteGround, and let's take a look. Look. So there you have it. So now we have this site, but still, if we try, if we go here in WordPress and install and manage, we should be able to see some configurations, or we could visit it directly. So let's try it. So you see here we have this domain, and we could try to get into the admin. So if we visit that, probably it will not load. Yeah, it still says site not found because it's still not propagating, or it's still not successfully get into it. So you just have to wait at this point. Okay, so if this happens, when you just point you just move the domain, so for example, to a new hosting, and when you're communicating to client, and then they might say, okay, what happens to my website? Sorry, sir, but it's still under propagation. But you have to make sure that you have a precaution to do this ahead of time. Kailangan nyo pong, you might probably understand much of my term, but you need to have preparations to actually not show this. Okay, so make sure you have, before you do some transferring, meron po kayong backup. Okay, so but we're not going to tackle about that more specifically, that because this one is just about starting building. Okay, so you see that still on Namecheap. That means it's still not able to, hindi pa po yan na propagate. Yun po yung term. Okay, so now what we could do is basically we are just going to, para po makikita nyo po yung WordPress, how to get through things. So we're not going to use this for now, and probably we're going to visit that later on. So we are going to use different domain, but I already showed you earlier, right, how to do that, how to point the domain name servers properly, so that it's going to be hosted on the right web hosting account that you wanted to, where you wanted to host the website. So now let's just use different domain so that I could show you, and we could explore WordPress. Okay, so probably we will use test.vaservicespage.com. Probably. So let's see. So test.vaservicespage.com. I already made this. I think I forgot. Probably we are going to use this. So yeah, I already have installed WordPress here. So let's just go to admin. Okay, I already showed you how to do the install process, but we're also going to create a WordPress. By the way, it says test.vaservicespage.com. So when you have something in the beginning of the domain, by the way, let me, you might want to take note of this, but because you might probably be communicating with client, you would say, okay, kailangan ko i-install ang, can you install my website? Can you install a WordPress website to this domain? To you see here, it's actually a subdomain. Okay, this is a top level domain, or the main domain, and if you have any additional text there or word, that's going to be a subdomain. Okay, so that is a subdomain. If you visit facebook.com, you have a dev.facebook.com, you have business.facebook.com. Yun po ang mga subdomain. So you have to be you have to have the knowledge about you say, okay, sir, where should I install it? So should you want me to create a test subdomain? So you could do that. So for example, you are just on the test ground. So instead of directly overwriting the main domain, you could create a test using the subdomain. Okay, so that's how you do things in a developer world, by the way. So you have to back up things. You have to make some extra step before you go through a live site. So I already installed it in test at domain. So let's just visit it. So if you visit the site, hopefully it's already set. So let's log in. Oops, it's also not propagating properly. Sabi ko sa inyo may mga errors. Let me see what is wrong with this. Mm-hmm. So what about Vag page theme? So let's try this. And also, by the way, you could also install WordPress or any additional application to a website. So, for example, this is your domain, mydomain.com. So you could also install it somewhere like this. For example, extra folder. So this is, you could also install additional explanation to additional application to that folder instead of just on the main domain. Okay, so you could use that on doing some extra stuff like testing. So you could do a subdomain, or you could do it on a subfolder like so. Okay, like subfolder to install your application to do some tests. It would be useful to do some tests. Okay, so let's go back here. So Vag page theme. So let's probably try to install the Vag page theme. Why not select a WordPress? Okay, so let's try to create one, and then in Vag page theme, let's try. Oh, we have a test Vag page theme here. I think we already have it installed. So let's do it on test subdomain, and then installation path in the main domain or the main subdomain, and then let's add a username. So I'm just going to use password. Oops, sorry. Test at. So how are you doing so far? So far. Hopefully everyone is still learning. So I'm creating a password 1234567 So you could log in if you wanted to on this. So the password top 10 common password. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 ABZD. Okay, so let's do it. ABZD. So install. So I'm not going to explain about multi-site for today, but we were just going to use a standalone WordPress. You could have an experiment of that if you are going to go through in the process. If you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to put your questions on our comment box. Okay, so that we will answer that later. Okay, so we are going to visit the website, and now what you got? Viola. So this is a very basic website. Now I'm going to show you how you would edit. This is just a very basic website. Okay, so wala pa pong purpose. Okay, we are just creating a shell of a website, of a WordPress website. Say you're just another website, and there's no anything else here just yet. Okay, so what we need to do is to log into admin panel. So you have an option to admin panel, but for you to know, in order for you to log into a WordPress website, this is one of the things that you need to familiarize. In order for you to log into a website, you need to a WordPress website, you just need to use wp-admin. Okay, so wp means WordPress, then -admin. Ganyan po kayong mag-login sa WordPress. Okay, so if it's a different platform, iba-iba din po yung method to log into the admin panel nila or the back-end panel. Okay, so remember the terms. So you could use login for different platforms po, but for WordPress, this is what is it as default. Okay, wp-admin, or you could also use wp-login.php. Okay, so you could log in to both method. So kailangan nyo pong mag-log into back-end panel to do some changes on your website. Okay, so in this case, remember that we created our domain. So you could try to test it out. So test at vagpage.theme, and then you could try to log in test, and then our password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and ABZD, right? Okay, so that's the password, and then just click login, and we should be redirected to this window. So meron po mga extra services itong si SiteGround. So, meron po mga extra wizard that you need to follow. But for this, on different hosting po, meron din po silang ibang ginagawa sa kanila. And sometimes they don't have this kind of extra offer or like this extra service that makes your life more easier. So that's why I like SiteGround, because they do a lot of extra services included in your purchase of their web hosting service. So start now. So they offer you. Ito na po yon. So if you want to create different website using WordPress, ang mag-determine po yan to create a different website is the theme and plugins. Okay, we will talk more about that in a few seconds. So we will just, in this here, we're just going to go through a theme. So si SiteGround, nag-offer siya ng mga different themes that's already available for you to use and modify. Okay, so for example here, it's like a veterinarian theme. So a theme to use for if you are going to create a website for veterinaries, like professionals, doctors, probably like this one is going to be a printing services. What else? So like this, a hotel, probably this is a hotel theme. You could use this, or a furniture store. You see, the theme will help you build a WordPress website and convert it to different types of website that we just discussed earlier. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So in this case, we will just choose the predefined theme that is offered to us to use. Let's say, okay, I want to use this. Let's say, what's theme is the best that I like to use? Probably I like this one that says, where's that? Where's the one that I like? So for example, I'm going to create a website for veterinary, high care pets. Yeah, so I will select this. So select, and then you have here, you could select an extra plugin. So Elementor, this is free plugin, and you could upgrade to a pro, so you could include that. So what else should I want to include on my installation? So these are just plugins, okay? And we're going to explore that at the back end later. So I want them to have a shop, and also this is a WooCommerce plugin, a Jetpack plugin. Select. So I just want this shop, and so I don't want the calendar. I just need the contact form. Then complete, and then optimize for SEO. So select. So this is using Yoast SEO plugin, and Google Analytics, yes, and Grow Subscriber, no. Then complete. There you have it. So now what will happen is that SiteGround will create this for me. Will do the process for me of the installing of the theme and the plugin. Okay, so and I'm going to show you how to change your theme if you want it, if your website needs to change themes later on. So there's a configuration at the back end of WordPress. Okay, so hope everyone is your cues. Ruby, if you just want to create a practice website where we can do that, do we always need to? I will answer that later on, okay? So good questions, Ruby. Thank you for that question. And Mondizon, while this loading, yes, Mondizon, meron po tayong replay. You could rewatch this whenever you wanted to. So just letting you know. But it's better to learn right now if you don't have any important stuff. But you could always rewatch this. By the way, mga kain po tayo ng hot cake. Niluto na ako ni Mrs. Do some break. By the way, do some break if you want to. Drink water, coffee, anyone. Okay, good. So you could just rewatch this later on if you want to rewatch it. Congrats, your site is ready. You just want to view site. By the way, don't confuse with what I did, okay? So because we don't have hindi pa po na-propagate yung binili nating domain, that's why napilitan po tayong gamitin si test@vagspage team. Yung existing po ito. existing ko po itong mga domain na already pre-created. So, para po mas ma-show ko po yung WordPress installation process. Okay? So, let's try to visit it again. Baka available na. Okay? So, let's try. So, hopefully, it's now. Unfortunately, hindi pa po available si... tama naman po yung ginawa natin dito. So, we already added the custom DNS. So, already put everything right. So, we just have to wait. So, still, hindi pa rin po. So, I think it may take a couple of hours. So, but here's the WordPress site that we just created. You see, with just an instant installation, I already created a veterinarian website with just a few clicks. How about that? Okay? So, the only thing that you need to do right now is to basically change the configuration. Or I mean, change the images that you need to use, like real images from your clients. If your client's a veterinary, then you could read some. You could change some of the copy, the text, the bullet points, the benefits, and so on. The testimonials. You could get testimonials from the clients that you're serving, right? Napakadali. Yeah, I will show you that later on how you would create this for free. Okay, so just heads up ahead of time. Go to, I think you could start practicing on 00webhost.com. Okay, so 00webhost.com, that is one of your resource. I'm actually going to talk about this at the end. So that's one of the resource that you could actually use to start building a website for free. So just use there. So they provide a custom domain to start just practicing your WordPress development skills. So ito na po. So now we're going to go back to the admin. So ito po, you are going to familiarize things out in WordPress. If you go here, click dashboard. So you go back. Ito po yung pinapanood natin dito. This is what we call the front end. Okay, ito po yung makikita ng mga user na magbi-visit ng website nyo. Ang back end po is yun po yung makikita mo. Wala pong access yung mga user. Or this is also the other terms for that is back end or admin panel. Okay? So admin panel. So ito po yung mga admin menus mo that you could do from the back end. So you could you could add a post here. So let's just explore something. You could add a post to create blog posts for your website. So for example, if you visit the site here, there should be some blog post sections to show the blog post to keep things updated. So I don't know if this wala po sa menu niya yung blog, and probably it doesn't have contain any blog post. If we go to post, so yan. Ano ba tong mouse ko? Sometimes I'm clicking but it's not doing anything. Okay, if you view the post, there's a sample hello world post. So you could see it here. I think makikita siya. So wala po siyang blog template for now. So just using a simple blog template, but we could do that. We could do some changes on our back end. So everything could be changed from the back end. Okay, so eto na po. We already have our site ready. You already created that. Depende po yan sa, by the way, sa hosting account na ginagamit nyo. They might probably provide different theme for you to start. Okay? So, if you don't have any theme, yung hinahanap nyo, so for example, you're serving client that needs some specific type of website, like a hotel, like that, and then yung hosting service na ginamit nyo doesn't have any theme for that, then you could always offer to your client to actually buy a theme, a specific theme, and I'm going to give you resources later on, and then to use to their website. And then the other thing is you could also go here in the themes configuration, in here in appearance, then themes. Okay, so just letting you know that when I speak to a client, when we have some communication, we have a meeting, so I do a lot of mistakes pronouncing words, but they don't laugh at me. Just giving you a hint that hindi po tayo don't try to be perfect on every way about communicating in English fluently. But again, you have the advantage to doing that. So here, in appearance, you have themes. Dyan po, you could try to add a new theme or change a theme. So for example, you have already a pre-built theme there. You could use what theme is available that you already installed. You could just switch from theme. Look at this website. This is a WordPress. We are now a veterinary site. We created a veterinary site, right? So we could transition that to a different website. Oops, sana yun? Naku, close bigla. So we could transform this to another different site by just changing a theme. Oh, what happened? It's closing. Ayaw na niyang mag-open. Okay, so by just choosing a theme here. So for example, I wanted to change to something. I want to add a new theme. Okay, so I'm gonna add a new theme. And you could search a lot of theme from WordPress repository, themes repository. So that means WordPress already have a lot of free available themes on their repository. So you could just search from here on this site, or there's another option to do that. You could go to wordpress.org and then go to themes. Okay, so but you don't necessarily have to do this. I'm just giving you a wordpress.org. So if you visit wordpress.org, you should be able to find themes and plugins that you could install a WordPress. Again, WordPress is basically by the way, it's an org, right? Okay, we're using org, not .com. So WordPress is a blogging platform in a sense, but it is a versatile platform. You could transform WordPress blogging platform into any types of website that we just discussed earlier. We could change it to a media site. We could change it to an entertainment site by just using themes and plugins. So you could use different themes and plugins to meet that functionality that you want to your WordPress website. But remember our best practices, okay? So, for example, I want to change it to a photography site or like an e-commerce site in a photography. So I could just install that plugin, or I mean theme, and then I could activate it. So activate now. Okay, so now with just that click of a button, look at my website. Or if I visit fresh naman, press F5, refresh your page. So Viola. So now you see that, oops, it's not reflecting because of, I think, of the caching. Purge cache. So let's purge cache. Oops. Show up. Okay, so it's not showing up. Because we already have pre-created content here. This what we call predefined styling that's already been transpired in the site. So we could try to get back what's wrong. If we revert back to any other, you see, I make mistakes. So part of our job as a working online person is basically to make sure that we take care of things. We figure out things for our clients. Okay, so for example, for this error, so you see that every time I change themes, this still intact. So why do you think is that? So in my case, I think that's because it's using a default page as a home page, and whatever themes that we're actually using here. So you see that's already been created as a home page. So I could go here. So this is one of the important things that you need to do when you are on a platform. You need to familiarize where you have to go when things are not working on our expectation. Okay, and by the way, I just wanted to give you a heads up when you are serving, so you're starting serving clients. You could use Pinoy Online Academy, Pinoy Online, Pinoy PVAC group, okay, so to ask questions when you need help. Okay, so we have a community there, so you could ask questions. I would suggest that you put your questions in there para po everybody will benefit if I'm going to answer or if others have the answer. Okay, will benefit to the questions that you ask. Okay? So yun po yung purpose ng ating group, to actually help each other if you have been through to a problem. So in this case, so for example, kahit ini-change natin yung theme, so yung content is still the same because because this has a predefined homepage here. So that's what's being used in the the front end. So I could go here on settings. I could change that on general or permalinks. Actually, I forgot WordPress, but if I'm going to just go through it, I think it was on reading or writing. So there is a configuration here that you have to change what domain name or what page do you want to use as a homepage in WordPress. No, not that. So I think it's reading. You just have to go through too. If you forgot things, you have to go through again to get back things to your mind. Here on reading settings, so we could set which homepage we want to display. So here we have set the homepage. That's why whatever themes that we're using, it's already have predefined design. So whatever themes that we're using, it's not affecting. So let's try to use our post instead. So it's now using the blog theme, blog template of our site. So if we visit this, we visit the homepage. Now it's no longer displaying the page because we changed the homepage. Okay, so we hope you're learning something. Again, just familiarize all these features here. Okay, so when you are trying to use a platform, you just have to browse through. And here's the thing: what if I'm going to do this? So always do this when you're learning. What if I'm going to do this? If I'm going to add a page, what will happen? So what will happen next if I'm going to publish a page? What will happen if I go to comments? So what will happen if I do this? Okay, so keep your curiosity in constant active constantly. Okay, so that's how it is learning to build a website, especially working using a specific platforms. It needs your curiosity and it needs your consistency of desire of learning and excitement. I hope you're excited to actually doing this right now. So you're browsing. By the way, you could log in. Okay, you could log in. I give you the login. So just go to I already showed you how to log in. You just have to append wp-admin to any WordPress site that you have installed. And so for example, the domain or the site that we installed WordPress is test.php. So you just have append wp-admin /wp-admin. And then our login is test is the username, and the password is, what's the password? A B C D. Oh, no. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 A B Z D. A B Z D. Okay? All right. So at least we have learned something here that we see why did that happen, why nothing changes when we change the theme. So I showed you some of the feature of WordPress that there is something configuration that you need to do, kasi we have installed a predefined pages that has been designed, and also a content that is already designed for this specific service site. Okay, so now we could create a new page using a new theme that we just created. Okay, every theme that you have installed, by the way, I already showed you how to install theme. Go to here and customize, themes, and then you could just browse any theme that you wanted to install to make your website achieve what you need to achieve. So if you wanted to activate the photo, let's go back to this. Let's try this and let's refresh. And Viola. So the WordPress site is now using different look. And by the way, why it's still looking like this? Because this is using a template. Okay, so it's using a template. This is a blog template because we, in the settings that we set earlier, we actually set in settings. Where settings? You see settings. in reading, we set the to use the homepage to be the blog template, or to be the blog post, right? The latest post. So that's why the homepage, if you visit the homepage of your site, it's displaying blog template. This is a template. Okay. So what are templates, by the way? Let me just add a new page, say for example. And by the way, let's check if there's any existing page. Our clinic privacy sample. No. So let's add a new page. So here's where you could actually see where the template that you could use. Depending on the theme that you've installed, there are different templates that you could use. Okay, so there are different templates. Jung, 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 jung. Ayan, umuulan na po. But hopefully, you're learning so much here. Again, what I recommend you to do, kasi hindi pa po natapos yung training natin in Pinoy Online Academy, I actually plan to go through from each of this and give you all the detailed instructions step by step. But again, I have a conflict of my time for serving our clients. So what I'm doing right now is just giving you a live training weekly, so that you could still be learning and pursue your work from home career. Okay, so we're not opening the course enrollment for now. So kasi wala pa po akong enough time to actually create all the tutorials. So this is the best that I could do to help you get started and develop your skill set. Okay, so here we have, so for example, tests. This is what we call a page editor. So 3 columns, the template library. And by the way, we have here page attribute. If you see here, we have a different what we call template. So we have a default, Elementor, canvas, full width. So depende po yan kung ano yung available na in-install yung theme. Magdepende po yung templates that is available here. The template is basically what makes this look like this. Okay? Like this. Ang WordPress site is ang blog, what we call this, a blog page or a blog post page is looking like this is because of the template that has been used on that specific areas of the site that we are working. Okay, so hindi ko po madidetalye more of it, but you got the idea. Okay, so again, all you have to do is to, as for now, explore things. By the way, I give you the password test at you could do anything here. Just don't okay, you could experiment things out if you wanted to. You could use this to your learning skills. But I think only one user, if you log in here, all of you, pag nag-change yung isa, mangyari, mawawala yung ginawa ng isa. But probably in the future, I'm going to prepare a test site for you to do some of your testing. But again, you have a resource I mentioned earlier. So just go to 00webhost.com and do there your tests. Okay, so I haven't showed you the local test yet. So you could actually use SAMP or WAMP to do a local test instead of being online. So you could do it offline. You could install WordPress offline. You could, but we're not going to do that today because it's already late and we don't have enough time to do so. Okay, so I think that's all for the creation of website. You get the idea. By the way, lastly, regarding the plugin, so this is where you could install plugin. Hello, hello. Uy. Hello, hello. Hey, hey, mic test. Hey, mic test. Oh, sorry, sorry. Na-mute pala. Oh, sorry po. Um, okay, so I just installed the plugin, okay? Ang process po ng plugin is when you ang plugin po is just an extension to your website. It extends the functionality of your website that you are building. So for example, magre-request yung client mo, I want my website to be like this. So, can you install some plugin for can you make this? So, ang gagawin niyo po is you could select the theme that already have that and then extend the functionality of your website using the plugin to meet the desired result that your client is looking for. Yun po yung mga purpose ng mga plugins. And when you install plugins, may madadagdag po yung mga menu. Depende po sa plugins. Depende po sa mga functionality na i-add ng mga plugins. It will add some menus here. Like for example, we have a plugin SG Optimizer. It adds a menu here for us to configure. So earlier, we just installed Lightspeed Cache to make our site faster. So for example, like this, they request, okay, I want the purpose of the plugin is to speed up your site, so you could find caching plugin. Okay, so probably I missed to actually do this ahead of time. Probably I would send you some recommended plugins that you could install to a new website that you could do. And we have more WordPress training that I'm going to do later in the future that it will help you. But I guess that's all for today. Ano pa ba? We still have anything left in our slides, okay? So, I think we need to discuss more. So, hope marami po kayong natututunan. Again, your next steps, hindi po yan nag-i-end dito, okay? So, keep learning po. So, keep the fire burning. Okay? So, do it on your own time. So again, ito po yung na-recommend ko on the start your work from home career. Okay, so I recommend it to your start your work from home career na you are going to develop. Okay, so extra resources. You are going to create a time block for yourself that you are going to set that. So for example, you already created your time block to learn. Let's say, okay, I want to learn this specific skill set or any other additional skill set that I need to learn. You need to create a time block. So I've discussed that on Start Your Work from Home Career training natin. Okay? So, is my connection kasi umuulan na. Gamit ko kasi is everyone seeing blur connection? Probably it's just from your end. Okay, so extra resources a bit away, but again, I want to let you know, if you wanted to go further and develop more of your skill set, you need to create and have a self-discipline to actually schedule a time for your training. You will say, okay, pag sinet ko na ang time ko to actually learn something, to develop my skill set, like WordPress training, you want to pursue additional WordPress training, you create a time block. Okay, so for example, Tuesday at 7 to 9 p.m. Ito po is my training time. No one will distract me if I'm going to train at that time. Okay? So, yun po. And then you have to have an agreement at your house, at your home. Say to your spouse or to your children, whatever you, kung sino po yung nasa sa inyong bahay, that you have to agree to the point that you have to be spending things on training, learning. Para din po yan sa inyo. Okay, so here, extra resources for your WordPress learning. So, elegant themes. Try to search for this. They have DV. They have DV Theme Builder. And wpmudev.org isa din po mga resources that you could check on. They offer different types of themes and plugins that you could use in your WordPress or WordPress website development services if you want to create that. Then Optimize Press is another theme that you could check out. These are some of them are paid. They also offer some free stuff. Okay. Then Thrive Themes, another. These are pretty much the same. They offer the various. I just wanted to let you know that you could use this as your resource. Okay, when you're serving clients, they want a website. Then you could offer them. Okay, so do you want to to create a website like this? You could give them an example, and then okay, so we could use this theme. You could recommend them the specific service to use. So sila po ang magbabayad niyan. Your clients will pay for that. Okay? So you just have to recommend them, and then once they buy it, then you do the process of creating the website for them. Yun po yun. So www.dev.org. Elementor is another plugin. We actually just installed it earlier in our web. Then Envato. So this is another resource where you could find themes and plugins. All right. So I think that's all there is to it. So marami pa pong resources online. If it's about training, you could go through YouTube probably, and there might probably a lot of training about WordPress already. So again, I already introduced you to WordPress, and we still have no available time to do our own WordPress training, extensive WordPress training for now. But if you could find one, I recommend you do that. Okay, so kung I would love to help you in my own time, but as of now, hindi pa po ako makakreate ng mga training course for that to be more extensive in training. So I recommend you to find one that's going to give you more additional learning in terms of WordPress. Okay, so Q&A. So ano po yung question again, by the way, Mia? Ferry Sarondo. Ferry, question po, ang domain name po ba will be permanent? Hindi na mabubura kahit hindi mo na siya i-maintain bayaran? No. Kailangan po bayaran niyo po yan yearly. So pag hindi mo po yan mababayaran kung na-end na po yung year end niya, so for example, one year po yung pagbili niyo niyan is 1 year po yung expiration niya. So after niyo po nabili and hindi niyo renew, nag-expire na, parang ibig sabihin lang. Pag nag-expire na, close na. Hindi na po yan magiging, they will give you a grace period, by the way, mga 30 days or 60 days ata. So, magiging public domain po yan. It will be going back to their ownership. Hindi na po yan masasayo. Pwede na po nila yung i-bid kung they want to bid the domain. Okay? So what else? Hopefully that answers Fairy. Okay, so hindi po permanent yung domain. And then Anna, there are sites for free domain, and by the way, it's not free domain totally. Probably you're referring to subdomains. Okay, so sometimes web hosting accounts or web hosting services companies like I showed you earlier, the 00 web host, are offering a free web hosting service, and then they will host your files in their subdomains. Okay, they will give you a domain name, then yun pong a site na gagawin mo, it will be served to their own subdomain. And I don't recommend that when you are, by the way, when you're building sites for clients or for yourself. Wag po sa subdomain ng different companies. You have to name it under your name to make it more for your branding and for your personal use. And by the way, just in case if it's going to be for practice purposes, then just use free stuff. Okay? Whoop, whoop. So, where is... hello po, may recommend po ba kayong hotel na website creation for beginners na walang madaming gani po? What? Gani? Fairy? Faye? Dorai? So, ano po yung gani? Madami gani? Can you clarify? So, let me see. Probably Mia had posted the questions in our personal chat box. Saan ba yun? So, let's see. And by the way, I want to show your questions to your to the screen. There you go. So I'm scrolling through the questions here. So let me see kung ano yung mga questions na i-answer natin. And Mia, did you chat? Ruby, yan, meron na. So we are cling nawala yung audio. Mia, from Rubyline, if we just want to create a practice website, where can we do that? Do we always need to buy it? Oh, tapos na daw natin yung answer, right? So you could go to 00 web host. Sir, can we develop first a site as subdomain, then buy the domain? Absolutely. Pwede po. From Mr. Jig, sir, can we develop first a site as a subdomain? You could develop a site anywhere on free site, and then you could actually just do the process of migration. Okay, so you have to know the process of migrating your created site on a free site to the new one, or to the hosting one if you decided to buy a hosting. Okay. So, napakamura naman po ng domain if you wanted to buy a domain name. Just $8. And that is a yearly, right? And for hosting, it's also so inexpensive. $1 a month, like so. $3 a month, napakamura na po nun. And then you could package. Okay, so walang mga complicated po na ganyan po. Okay, so in terms of complication building, you mean? I think no. You have to go through the process of building. Kaya po tayo nag-learn to develop our skill set of creating a website kasi po we want to help them not go through that. Okay, so we want to help our clients not to go through the process of the hard part, the technical part, because we want them to focus on their business. That's why we exist, serving clients. Okay, so probably there are already existing platforms that you have mentioned about building a hotel site. You could just do a search like a platform, probably say a platform to build a hotel site, like that. You could do a search like that. Okay? And then see for yourself if meron pong ganon. But still, you have to go through to the process of learning if you are going to be introduced to a platform. So baka may iba pong platform that is readily made for hotels. Okay, so ano pa yun? Sir, kailangan ba ang client ang bibili ng domain name bago kagawa ng website design? You could do it for them, Zel Ramirez. You could do it for them kasi po you could do it for them to make their lives more easier. But you could also recommend them. You could actually package it. You could make it a package. For example, you say, okay, I could buy a domain name for you. This is the price. You could do some additional price point for that. You could offer them this website. You could actually package it into one price. Then you take care of everything. And they just need to see your design and then approve things out. When they decide that what your website that you created for them is yun na yun. Okay, so hopefully I answered your question. So sabi ni Jade Pellegrina, can we like to internship with you? Willing to work po for peanuts? Yes, by the way, let me get back to you, Zel. Regarding with internship, not necessarily that you're going to go as intern for me. We're actually, one of the purposes of actually doing this weekly training is because we're launching also our services. And those who go through to our training is one of those people that we're going to likely hire because you've gone through to our training. Okay, so just a hint po para sa lahat. So, we're going to post a job post later on. And probably there are also, meron pong mga nagpo-post ng job post sa ating PBAC community. But I still have to communicate to them if they're actually reliable po para as a resource nyo to apply for a job. Okay? So, but for us, our plan, one of our plans to in the future is to actually build to help you create to help you get a client. Okay, so we are at now we are developing. This is one of the things that actually make busy of is we're developing. We're spending our time as a team in our marketing materials to actually develop a site that actually accept clients so that you will be easily get a job. Okay, so that will help you get a job easier in the future. So that's it. That's why I'm doing this weekly training para po to help you develop skill set that would help you in the future when we open for your for you to apply. Okay, so anything else? Yeah. So I will get back to Zel Ramirez says, client always asks for sample, sir. Yes. That's why you could build a site from test site, or you could start if you actually you think if you think actually if you make money from creating website, of course you could. When you create a package for your website, you could use that pack as an investment initially. You could start creating your own. You could buy your own domain. You could buy your own hosting. Wala po atang mga 2,000 pesos investment for a year yan. Or I think 3,000 pesos for a year yan. You could use that, and then when you invested to that, you could use that to build a portfolio. You could build different sample website, right? Di ba po, Zil? Tama po ba? So you could develop a sample website from there once you buy your own domain and your hosting. So you could once you buy a domain and hosting, you could start building websites on that domain, and then you could cater that to your clients. You could give them some samples. I already showed you to create to use some sample themes available readily. You could just modify some copies of that to make that owned by you. Hope that answers Zell. So what else? Meron pa bang question, Mia? Sir, kailangan ba ang client... okay. Tapos na pala ito. Kyung. So, meron pa po bang mga questions dyan, mga kaibigan? Dahil marapit na tayong mag-end. Okay. So, we will go back to the Q&A. Just if you still have questions, just wanted... okay, so Jade Pellegrina, how can newbies complete with experience pips and get the elusive first client? Hindi ko masyadong maintindihan. How can newbies compete? Complete naman yung understand ko. Compete with experience pips and get the elusive client. Well, you don't necessarily have to compete. Okay? So you don't necessarily have to compete. You just have you think it this way. Everyone start somewhere, right? So yun pong mga nag-exist na po na magaling na po mag web design and they already have the services and so on, they will still end up not being able to serve what you can. So as long as you keep developing your skill set, you will be able to serve your own unique audience or unique market along the process po. So, wag po kayong mag-think ng, oh, the market is so saturated. Okay? So, there's no oversaturated market. As long as you develop continually, still, you have said that you're a beginner. So, you have to develop yourself to become, to learn something in additional. Okay? So, you have to develop your experience so that you could start being in the industry. You could be unique on your own way. You could provide marami pong mga business owners, different types of business owners that you could provide your service to. So hindi lang, wag po kayong tumingin doon sa competition like it will discourage you. Okay? So always think that you have your exception. Meron kang yung exception mo that you could give to them. And you could only find that out when you consistently develop your skill set. Okay? So continually learning. And then, let me just let's go back to the Q&A later. Your next steps, by the way, develop your website building skills, continue, and then learn to use FTP. By the way, include this to your research how to use FTP. Actually, this should be included on the course that I'm going to build, but again, ito na lang, I will be as a guide to you what you need to research. Learn to use developer tools like Sublime. So Sublime is a developer tool or code editor po yan. Then learn Photoshop. So by the way, meron po tayong Photoshop training in next 2 weeks po. So meron pa tayong ibang training next week. So next po yun by next week. Okay, so Photoshop training po. So learn Photoshop to incorporate a designer skill set. Okay, so you could easily use your own images when you have Photoshop skills. And then also for those beginners, please start your work from home career course. Go through to that training. That's just 1 hour also training para po you could know what you still needed to collect payments, ano po yung mga necessary. I also mentioned there platform that you need to familiarize with to be able to serve clients on this market today. Okay? So, yung mga most platforms na ginagamit po ng mga business owners, I already mentioned that on the Start Your Work from Home Career Training. Okay? Oh, yes. Tanong ni Nemfa Corpus. Lahat po ng mga weekly upcoming training natin are all free po. Are all free. Okay? So, free po lahat ng training natin. And by the way, those are just kind of basic skill set that you could incorporate para po to again, my free training here are always like a guide to you. Okay? So what else? Thank you then, Ana. So again, kung hindi pa po kayo nakapag-start your work from home career training, go through po. In order for you to, by the way, sign up to start your work from home career. Ano ba to? Okay, so just go to my.Pinoy Online Academy. Ito po yung My Pinoy Online Academy. This is your membership center, okay? So free po lahat yan. So you have here your Start Your Work from Home career. You could just view that. That is already replay. Recorded na po yan. So you could just watch the replay there of that training. And then, so you could go through that also as additional about additional knowledge and information about working from home. Okay? So, what else? Ano pa ba yung na-miss ko? And don't forget, please subscribe po sa ating YouTube channel. Right now, we are still at 200 subscribers. Okay? So, dumadami po. Last week po is just 150 plus. Ngayon is nadagdagan na po yung mga subscribers natin. And thank you po for your help to make this channel more saturated, hopefully. Okay, so we will have more training po next couple of weeks. Marami pa po tayong training couple of weeks. So see you po on our next training next Tuesday. So it's going to be June 2, 2020 at 4:30 p.m. So our training will be about data entry, like mastering tools that you needed for data entry skills, so that you will be able to help companies that needs those. Okay, so more of about a general virtual assistant skills. Huki! So marami pong salamat for your time that you have been here through to this training. We have been almost 2 hours in our training. So hopefully you have learned a lot from this training po. And God bless po sa lahat. And kung meron po mga tanong, I will create a video for that. And we will be posting that on our PVAC or in this YouTube channel para po you will be updated for the videos that we will upload. Thank you. Have a great and wonderful day, everyone. God bless.